Right, so the match finished Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Let's get this player ratings out of the way. What's up and welcome to the player ratings. Hope you guys are well and hope you're awake really after that last 90 minutes that we'll never get back, because things were very, very predictable there as Liverpool coasted very comfortably in a training match to a 3-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. If you can be asked, put your player ratings in, but I promise you this is not going to take long because I'm starving. So let's get into it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, all the usual crap. You know the drill. Okay, so let's have a quick summary of the game. From the first second of the game, we just played low block. Now, was I expecting anything else? No. Should I have expected anything else? No. Could we have the excuses that we're missing loads of players? Maybe a few will hide behind that. But for me, the problem wasn't the low block. The problem wasn't the selection of the team. It's kind of pretty much to the T, the players I thought would be playing. The problem for me was the lack of pressing, the lack of desire, the lack of hunger, the lack of anything. I almost feel that the team talk, the prep before the game was a case of go out there, boys, keep it tight, don't concede a goal, and don't worry about attacking. The problem is, if you're not going to press them, if you're not going to leave a man or two forward to at least force Virgil and Kanate, who are playing in a position of a CM for an opposition, then eventually the walls will cave in. And that's exactly what happened. The first goal, a lot of you are saying Murillo's fault. He tried to go all Beckenbauer again and skill up everyone, lost the ball, got the turnover. And in fact, that's why Liverpool did score, because we were caught high up the pitch with only, I think, Bolly and Niakate back. I still put some of that on Turner. I'm sorry, he parried it straight into Jota's path. He has to parry better than that. But that was the first goal. Second goal, for me, Sangare's to blame. Sangare let Szoboszlai go in behind the line. He couldn't be asked to track him back. Very weak, very poor from him. And then again, yet another absolute easy finish for Nunes to put it in. And then the third goal, that's all Turner, man. A lumped crossfield ball from the Liverpool left back. Turner comes out about 30 yards. The ball bounces over his head, and Salah's not going to get an easier finish in the league than what he just had there. And that one is 100% on Turner. Like, and then we started to play, taking Morgan Gibbs-White off and bringing on Santos and a couple of other changes. I actually thought Yates was okay when he came on as well. Maybe showed a little more desire than the rest of the team put together. But it was too little, too late. Liverpool were done, man. In fact, they went and scored a fourth that was just slightly offside. But it's just so lackluster. And it is worrying. The worrying thing for me at the moment is Cooper's tactics, his wheelhouse is low block. If he's not going to pick up the points with the low block stuff, and he can't break down teams that we're expected to beat, then where are the points going to be coming from this season? And I think that's a very serious question that needs to be addressed. So it was poor. It was poor in general. Were we expected to lose? Obviously, 100%. But the thing for me is there just isn't the desire. And there's a way, sorry, let me say that again. There's a way to lose a football match. And that's not it, man. That's not it. You turn, you put a bit of fight in. And we didn't see any of that at all. Vlachodimodeli, nice name, with the 6 months. Why we out? Why are we out of what? I don't know. But thank you so much for the 6 months. And I think questions do need to be asked about Sangare. We'll discuss him in more detail on tonight's score, because otherwise there'll literally be nothing to talk about, because there was nothing to discuss there. Look, the player ratings for me are quite simple. Everyone gets a 3 or a 4, apart from Turner, who I'd give probably a 2. And then Dominguez is probably about a 5 or a 6 for me. But he missed an absolute sitter. It was like someone sniped him from the crowd and he went down. And then I'd be giving Cooper like a 1 because there was just no fight at all in that one at all. We'll discuss Turner as well. We'll discuss Turner because I've got him at fault for 200% crypto. But look, we'll do the player ratings. Honestly, I can't be asked with it. But, you know, contractual obligations and all that. I'm going to run through your scores. So thank you to the 41 of you who could be asked to vote. I can't believe 41 actually voted. But yeah, let's just run through what you guys have done. And I'll tell you if I agree with it or not, just to speed this process up. So you guys have gone for a 2.2 for a Turner. I would probably agree with that. I think you guys are quite spot on with that. Then we had Aurier. Oh, and by the way, the other thing that needs to be covered off is that when we went to the back 4, again, caveat this with the fact that Liverpool were done. We looked better. We looked better. So why did we start with the back 5? I think it was a lack of kahunas from Cooper to do that. 4.2, you guys have gone for Aurier. I just don't think anyone should be getting higher than a 3 or a 4 max. It's just, you cannot play football with no desire. And that is what we saw in that match. It was desireless. It really was. Okay. So let's see what you guys gave Bolly. 4.8. Yeah, Bolly was okay. Bolly was okay. But I just felt that the 3 in the back sometimes got in each other's way. It felt like Bolly and Murillo were starting to get used to each other. So why would you break that? And as Chuck is saying, back 5's just not a good idea. And there's all kinds of beef kicking off at this Manchester derby. What's going on here? Who cares? Man U are losing. That's the main thing. Okay, let's move on to Niakate. I would have given Niakate about a 3 as well, I would say. You guys have gone 4.5, quite high. What are you guys saying in the chat? Tom saying 0 for all of them, shocking. Andrew saying Sangare must think, what have I done leaving PSV? Yates is saying it was not desireless. We had no one to hold the ball up. Even Chris would have been useful. I completely disagree, bro. I think there was no desire in that game. The only desire was to try and hold it to 0-0 as long as we could. And then we had absolutely no plans after that. So anyway, you guys have gone 4.5 on Niakate. And then for Murillo, that was his worst game by a mile. He was a 2 for me. It was a 2. What have you guys given him? Let's have a look. 4.4. He definitely has a responsibility on that first goal for me. I think 4.4 is too high. 100% too high. It's not the result, it's the performance and lack of passion, says Cooper's Low Block. Fully agree with that statement. Sick of this boring low block shit, says Tim. Can't score from your own half. Murillo a 5 from Simon. Jan saying best player was Alanga. I think you guys have gone too high with Murillo here. Keep your votes coming in. It's a live count, so it will keep going on. Nico Williams man of the match, says Chapo. Okay, then Einar. Einar did one really good block that I can remember. I think he was okay. I probably would give Einar a 4. But again, what else could he do? That one block stood out in my mind. Outside of that, it was just with the bunch of them. Okay, let's see what you gave Sangare. Sangare today for me is a 2. I would give him a 2. You guys gone 3.6. I am starting to worry about his attitude. His attitude for me is really starting to worry me. There's no doubt in his ability, but the attitude just stinks right now for me. I'd give him a 2. You gave him a 9. Bloody hell, where did you get a 9 from, Nikki? So Jonathan saying, has Cooper lost the dressing room? I don't think he's lost the dressing room, but I would question, does he have the respect of some of the players that have come in from the summer? I don't know. That's just a question. I'm speculating there because some of these players are bigger names than he may have managed before, the likes of Sangare, Dominguez, etc. Are these names too big for him? And also, is he able to... How many of these players can he communicate directly with? Because he can't talk to Sangare. He can't talk to Murillo. Dominguez doesn't speak English either. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, how are these players talking to Cooper? Talking through a translator, just... Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's the whole lost in translation thing. Who knows? Oh, you gave Einar a 9. Fine. Okay, Mangala. What have you guys gone for Mangala? 4.8. Mangala was okay in the first half. I think he gassed a little in the second half. He's starting to get close to pushing Bolly for our current best player of the month. Sangare should have been on the bench, says Andrew. Einar's a 9. Subs a 7, says Chapo. Worrell doesn't understand English, says Crypto. He can't talk to Turner. Einar was very poor today, says Sai. Owen saying we'll beat Villa and West Ham. I hope so, Owen. I hope so. But I think we're going to low block against Villa. Oh, McTominay. Unlucky. We couldn't beat a Nick at the moment, says Nick. Mangala is so regular. Yep, he's like my one a day movement. Drop Sangare, give Santos a go, says Chapo. Crypto saying will be smashed by Villa. Bring in a translator assistant manager. Who's Sangare, says Emma. And Maureen saying the new signings have played under decent managers. They don't respect Cooper. Okay, let's see what you guys went for Dominguez. Dominguez probably a 5 for me. Let's have a quick look. I'm so not used to doing it this way. What's his name again? Dominguez. You guys gone 4.8. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Chapa saying worst performance since preseason. I definitely do agree with that. I wouldn't say performance. I'd say worst desire. Worst work ethic I've seen since preseason. Xavi Alonso speaks 4 languages. Man, Xavi Alonso would be next level at Forest. We'll never get him though. We'll never get him. Curious what Cooper will say now. That's easy. I can tell you now. It was the bus trip from Nottingham to Liverpool's about 3 hours? So it's going to cause some jet lag. The driver was probably a bus wanker, in between his settings and what have you. So that will be why we lost, because of the bus ride. Callum saying we need to get rid of Steve Cooper to get to the next level, and Steve is not the manager to do this. Tom saying Dominguez looks frustrated to be chasing down all on his own. He was. Minutes in the M1. It'd be the M6, wouldn't it, bro? Oh, I guess a bit of the M1. Coach lag. Nikki's saying it was like they were deflated before they even started. That's what I'm saying. I am worried about I'd love to know if I was freaking Colin, yeah, and I'd love him to grow a pair and just say to Cooper, what was your plan before the game? Were you trying to lose by the least possible amount of goals? You lost by 3 anyway. Should you not have just kind of maybe had a go at it a little bit, and then locked it down once you went 2 or 3-0 down? Wait until after the African Cup of Nations. Oh, God, that's around the corner now as well, isn't it? All right, Morgan Gibbs-White. He was crap today. He's like a 3 for me. You guys have gone 3.9. I thought we played better when he came off, to be honest. I thought he played better when he came off. He's a 3 for me. I think 3.9 is probably a little too high. Just have a go second half, says Keith. Oh, Man City should have scored. I can't imagine Coops being England manager. We would win nothing, says Andrew. He's from that factory, the Southgate training factory, isn't he? Okay, and then Alanga. Let's get. I'm so hungry. Alanga 4.3. I thought Alanga was okay. I'd probably have given him a 5 for me. He had a couple of chances. He really should have done better in the first half with that chance when it was 0-0. But he just got overexcited and shot way too early for me and low and dragged it wide. But overall, if you believe what Cooper says and he wasn't in training and he's sick, etc., then I think he was a 5 for me. Okay, and then the subs. I mean, even the subs, guys, if I remember rightly, they were really late. Let's have a quick look at this. Where are the subs? So next, first sub, sorry. So 70th minute, we did nothing until the 70th minute. And at that stage, the game was dead. Why not change it up? And he brings on Taiwo. And to me, Taiwo actually came on and did more in the time he was on than a lot of the other players. So Taiwo for me is probably about a 5.5. I thought he was okay. I gave Elanga way higher, a 7. Nikki, you're so generous with your scores. Cooper's timings of subs don't improve. Yep, absolutely. Newsflash, Cooper been given the sack. It would never happen that quickly, bro. Best moment is when VVD bounced off Taiwo and got winded. Yep. Taiwo's decent sub, says Chucker. Yates was the best sub. He was class. Again, it's just like it didn't really matter. I'd probably give Yates like a 5 or a 6 as well. Sub rule. What did you guys go with Yates? I mean, at least he went in there and started to like fight a bit. There's a little bit in the corner where he got the ball and just battled it out a little bit. But again, this sub, along with Taiwo and Tuffalo, was in the 69th minute. And then the final 2 subs were in the 83rd minute. And when did Liverpool score their 3rd goal? I can't even remember. Have a quick look. 77th minute. So in fact, yeah, no, nothing. Those subs were pointless by that stage. Pointless. Okay, so you guys gave Yates just, let's call that a 5. And then Tuffalo got really arsey on one of the challenges, didn't he? He's probably a 4 as well. 3, 4. What did you guys go? 4.3. I'd agree with that. And then he came on. Santos, I thought looked lively. Santos looked okay when he came on. I'd give him a 5 out of 10. Thomas saying need to learn to stay on side. Yates is a 6 from Simon. Tuffalo is a 4. Crypto's laughing at something. Tuffalo went nuts with Turner. I don't blame him, man. I really don't blame him. Keep giving Santos an 11. And then finally, Nico Williams. He was okay. But again, it's hard to judge this because the game is done when these players come on. It's like Liverpool are just like thinking about their dinner, you know what I'm saying? Well, what's his name again? Tuffalo. You guys went at 4.3. I'll probably give him a 5, 4.5, 5, something like that. Cooper, I'd give him a 2, to be honest. I think it was too negative, too lacking in desire. You guys are giving him 2.1. We're about the same. It's just not great. What's your substitute average rating? The average default. So an average play, if you think a player's played average, it's a 6. If you think a sub has played average, it's a 5, and then work from that. So yeah, Cooper 2.1. Is he under pressure? Probably not too much after this game. But if he loses to Villa and he loses to West Ham with an international break coming up, I can't see Maranaka sticking with this style of football. I really can't. Not when there's managers available. So we'll have to wait and see. Man of the match for me, probably Elanga. If I had to pick, it would have been Dominguez until that miss he made. So I'd probably go Elanga. Who would you guys go in the chat? Let me know in the chat who was your man of the match. Let's get into a couple of your comments as well, guys. Please hit that like button. There's only 37 of you that hit that like button. Maddie's saying if we can get Lopetegui, then Cooper out. Gilson saying Cooper must leave the bike wheels. Keith saying Cooper custard pie fired out of a cannon. Tuffalo did go crazy at Turner, says M. Ask yourself a question. What does he do on the training pitch? I don't know, bro. They just play with those under 5 goals. That's all I ever see. A lot of you going for Dominguez or Elanga. Einar is a shout, says Yatesy. Einar man of the match. I'm not convinced on Potter, says Matty. Look, these conversations are pointless. Cooper's still in charge until anything happens, and we can debate who has to happen. But Graham saying all that happens on the training pitch is injuries. That is a really good point. We are starting to see a lot more of these injuries creep in. We brought in the Chelsea head of something or other. And yeah, it's not getting any better, is it? Esther saying Bolly was man of the match. Keep those likes coming in. Afternoon, Willie boy. How are you, man? How are you? You still awake after that crap? I'd have Ronald McDonald at this point, says Cooper's low block. It'll be interesting to see how the more positive amongst the fan base react to this game. My honest assessment is one word: boring. Well, let me do more than one word. Boring, lack of desire, lack of energy, lack of bite in that game. Should we lose? Yeah, 100%. But you can lose 3-0 in many different ways. And that was the most wavy white flag way to lose in the history of losing. And it was just passionless. It was passionless. And I can't accept that. And Cooper should not be accepting that from players. Should have got in at them at halftime, irrespective of what the score is, fired them up and sent them out. And anyone who wasn't fired up, sling them off, man. Sling them off. And that's the thing. Thomas saying Cooper 0. 00 saying anyone thinks summer signings were to attract another manager? Nah. Giorgio saying Rob debate volume 2. Nikki saying lack of desire is spot on. Luke saying mood on the coach back isn't great. Keith saying don't discount Colonel Sanders. Ronald McDonald is tactically astute. Wake up saying Cooper's boring football. Vlachodimos to start against Vanilla. So we will get into the Turner debate. We need to talk about Sangare in Grumpy Old Reds. I think it'll be 8:30 tonight. And we got to talk about this style of football. We really do. Will saying was screaming at my screen saying, come on, Cooper, FFS, change the formation and try something different. Yeah, he did, Will. But the problem is he did that at 3-0 down. 3-0 down. Josh saying Vlachodimos deserves a start. We will get into all of that tonight at 8:30 p.m. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new to FFTV. I'm going to go and get some food because I'm starving. I'm going to watch the second half of this derby. Hopefully, Man U gets smashed. That will cheer me up. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. We'll see you at 8:30. Thank you for being patient with us and chilling. And come on, you Reds.